Okay, Huawei versus Apple. The Chinese often been noted as the Chinese version of Apple. The second,
Hmm.
I think they're the second largest cell phone maker in the world because they have such a huge presence in
Huge,
China.
yeah.
Um, Even though people in America, nobody, I don't think anybody in America is using their products, but are they positioning themselves to actually be a real competitor to Apple?
It's interesting because at one point they were trying to get their phones here, and from a brand standpoint, I think it's a great lesson to write down. Like, anytime the lead gets too close, that's the time to panic. You know who didn't panic in time? Intel. At one point, I know y'all tired of me beating this drum, but shout out to Atlanta Drum Academy. You have to care about the lead being lost when you see your competitors are slowly encroaching on your space. And truth be told, as big as Huawei is, even though they won't have America or Canada, they could get parts of Mexico. And for the first time in a long time in our adult lives, like, think about this: Microsoft now is more popular than Apple. Like, if I would have told you that 10 years ago, you'd be like, man, you own Ozempic and Dust too, right? So, so
Both.
now Microsoft is more popular. The CEO is more popular. I didn't even know they had a new phone coming out. That's not a good sign. What would you guys call it? The eye test? I don't hear anybody talking about, man, I want the new iPhone or a new iPad or new AirPods Pro. That's a scary sight. So am I a little bit concerned? Yes. But I have heard that, like, Apple's doing some things on the iOS side that would be amazing, but I think the hardware needs a huge overhaul. But the overall bigger point of, like, the Chinese economy, EVs are taking some of Tesla's lead away. Like, this geopolitical war is heating up, and they're trying to take market share from us for sure. So it's something you have to definitely keep your eyes on.
Yeah, this is they want that smoke. Like, pretty much, right? They heard
And
when
tariffs hurt.
yeah, they saw when the iPhone announcement is happening. They're doing their announcement the day after. They said we're gonna step on your release, pretty much. And they've tried this before, right? When they tried to get the American market, they were the first ones to have 5G, and then we put a ban on them bringing the 5G here.
Mhm.
And now with the phone, like you said, the release around it, there hasn't been as much hoopla. And usually you see like leaks leading up to
Yeah,
it. I haven't really seen any leaks about the iPhone 16.
at all.
All we hear is that AI is going to be integral and part of it. And if you want to have the AI services that it provides, you're going to have to upgrade. But what they've done is, number one, they've taken that market in China, which is so vital to the growth of Apple's revenue, and they've said, yeah, we're going to compete here. So for the first time, I think in June, Apple fell out of the top five phone providers in China. Huawei,
Not good.
that which is not a good sign. But they also decided to step into an industry that Apple backed out of, and that's the electric vehicle. So they're going to
Mhm.
announce that as well. From all the reports, is that they're announcing the phone, new series of phones, plus they're announcing the EV. I mean, you want to take headlines away. You want to take some market share in a country that is needed for the revenue growth.
Mhm.
We always talk about how are sales doing domestically, but how are sales doing in China is vitally important. So if they're cracking in on that, it'll be interesting.
That's
It'll be
scary.
interesting to see how, I guess not this quarter, but the next quarter, how the iPhone sales do. I know
Yeah.
plenty of people. I mean, just from the brand loyalty standpoint, people are going to order it domestically. But I'd be interested in seeing the numbers from overseas after this release.
Once again, the purpose of having a business is to make it a monopoly. So when them tariffs and sanctions got levied in China, China pushed back and said, "Don't have your little cruddy iPhone here," and start blocking that market. If I was Tim Cook, I would be knocking on both presidential doors, like, bruh, please let's fix this immediately, because now it's starting to hurt our businesses, and that market is so big, you cannot avoid being there. Now you have to really be incredibly aggressive in India. But if going back to the BRICS, if BRICS is in formation, that could get blocked off in a few years as well. So I think a great lesson in business is to worry about the new territories and alliances that you could have. And there's no money in war or relationship podcast. So I know some of y'all trying to act like It was 2 people at InvestFest. That crowd looked pretty fucking big to me. I'm seeing some of y'all review. I want y'all review how many people was there. Whew, I went to the vendor marketplace and got stopped for 2 hours.
report on
are we
that.
just gonna make stuff up? Is this what we doing?
Oh man,
What do I know?
yeah. They said that
Shout to Huawei and shout to Apple.
the phone that they're releasing is the first commercial ready smartphone that folds twice. I'm not. Do people want smaller phones? Is that
I
is
don't
that
know,
like a
but I
selling
know
point?
they have some AI in it that works incredibly well. It could be a good competitive advantage. And most companies in China, they'll have a loss to get market share for a couple of years and figure out how to convert it.
Yeah, you change some price points. You have your market, but I think India comes into play here too when we talk about the spread of territory. Obviously, Apple's there, but Huawei, from an international standpoint for them, what's the next region that they try to say, let's expand into? So it'd be interesting to watch.
And if you look at the general smartphone market, like when's the last time you saw a phone that was like, damn, I really want that phone?
We need that one. Right.
Like the double Galaxy fold out, that's fire. Look like a little mini movie projector, but like there isn't much innovation on the smartphone side in America in general.
Facts.
So
it's true.